All the toys are out of the garage. And that could mean only one thing. It's time to work on basket case. Okay, and welcome to another installment. So, when we last spoke, I had to mount the seat and pretty well get ready for paint, so that's where I'm at. I tossed around several options. I was going to do something fancy with Zeus type couplings, but in the end I went for the agricultural welds brackets on the frame and bolted in. It's nice and secure. So now I'll need to put some body washers on. I had an idea I might use some American nickels that I had floating around. This one was put in as a trial and it seems to work okay. Now when you mount fiberglass, you need to be careful that you're not going to be damaging the fiberglass around the metal component, so that'll require a rubber or fibre washer behind it, and you also need to drill the hole slightly oversized and put a little piece of plastic tube or something over the bolt to sort of separate the fiberglass and the metal. We're nearly there. So now I need to make a seat pan, and one of the ways that I thought I'd do that would be to make it out of aluminium plate and then just have the aluminium plate upholstered. So I've started with what I like to call a CAD design, or a cardboard aided design. So what I've done now is I've cut a piece of cardboard to the shape that I want. I now need to transfer that to some aluminium plate and get about cutting it out and mounting it onto the seat. I figure I'll probably use a large body washer and bolt with some Nutserts and mount here and here, figuring that your legs are straddling either side of the forward bolt and it's probably less likely to be any impact right in the centre as it is on your bum cheeks out here. So I guess the proof will be in the pudding. I decided to fold a slight lip at the front there to try and close this gap up a little bit here, where I've got the lower part of the tank mount, strap mount there. Just to give you a quick look at that, what I did was I got a conventional belt, just a normal leather belt. I manufactured a buckle for it to mount on the frame with a Nutsert in it, and I made this little angle bracket here to hold the strap. So there's a spring-loaded catch here, and that mounts to the base of the tank, and then the strap goes over. This piece simply unlatches out of there. Can't get a real good look at it while it's mounted up, but there you go. So that is purely for aesthetic purposes. It does actually functionally hold the tank down, but I'm using the conventional Yamaha mounts as, in conjunction. So nice firm strap on the tank, and of course the Monza style fuel cap will sit off to the side once we weld this panel up. So that's where we're at. So let's get to cutting. I'll go and transfer this pattern onto the aluminium and start cutting it up. Okay. little bit of trimming, make a couple of folds, and we'll have a seat pan. Okay, so that hasn't worked out too badly. I'll show you a look. There's our aluminium seat pan. So by folding it here and here, we're giving it some rigidity and adding rigidity to the fiberglass, and also it just gives me something to upholster up here and sort of add to the aesthetic of the seat, I think. Now, because this is custom made and I handmade the fiberglass and handmade everything else, there's nothing symmetrical. So these angles won't be the same, these radiuses won't be the same on both sides, but you've just got to use your eye and get it where you find it is appealing and fits the bike. That's what I've done here. So what I need to do now is mount it to the fiberglass seat. So I'll drill a couple of holes and we'll fit some Nutserts, and it'll be mounted up, and then the fiberglass and everything else will actually be ready for paint. I think I just have to cut the front guard. That's about all I have to do now. So yeah, let's get to bolting it to the fiberglass. Okay, so what I've done is I've marked a line down the centre and a couple of points where I'm going to do the mounting. All I had to take into consideration really was that the body washers that I'm going to use between the fiberglass and the seat have got enough room. So I will start by centre popping those spots. Pilot drill. Two holes. I can now drill that into the fiberglass, so we'll go and do that. Okay, we're going to be using an item called a Nutsert. Now this is like a blind rivet, but it's a nut. It's for use in sheet metal or anywhere you don't have enough bite. So this is fairly thin gauge aluminium. If I was to tap a thread in there, it wouldn't hold up very long. I mean, I might get the seat mounted, but the reality is it would strip fairly easily. This gives you a lot more substance, a lot more thread to hold onto. So what I need to do now is open these holes up to the right size for the Nutsert, and then I need to rivet that in, so I'll go ahead now and do that. Quick deburr. Okay. Special Nutsert tool. sure it's nice and firm. And voila, one Nutsert. So our bolt will screw into there, gives us plenty of thread depth, and because they have a Nutserts have a serration up against the shoulder on the top of the thing, it'll actually bite into the aluminium and prevent it from spinning in its spot. That's the plan. Second one. Wunderbar. Alright, got my seat pan. I've got the aluminium, sorry, the fiberglass cowl off the bike. Drop him on. Large body washer. Now these bolts are the ones I'm going to use, but they're too long, so I'll have to cut them down later. This is just a pre-assembly trial. Just make sure I'm happy with it. And then when it's all upholstered and actually being bolted on for the final time, I'll probably put a little dollop of blue Loctite 243 nut lock, just to make sure that they don't come undone. Important to start both before you tighten. There we go. That should keep our seat nice and firm. Now, like I said, I don't think that's going to give me too much grief. Once we put padding, I'm going to do like a tuck and roll setup on this. Some fairly high density foam in the bottom, and then some softer foam on the top, and it'll come right up to the edge here and up over the top. So that's this one here definitely won't annoy me, so I'm happy with that. Let's bolt it on the bike and have a final look. So that's it for this component. So for me, I'm very happy. I've been procrastinating about this for some time, but I now have a seat pan bolted to a fiberglass cowl, bolted to the frame. Oh, happy days. So now I just need to pull it all apart again, get it off to the painters, throw money at it, get this upholstered, get the front fork tubes done at the same time, so they've got somewhere where the bushes and seals have been running, so they're going to make sure they're straight, and then they'll hard chrome them and they'll be like new again, and I can assemble that front end component. So yeah, happy with the progress. We're edging ever closer. When I get the fun part will be when we get it all back together and start assembling all the parts, if I can remember where everything is and where everything goes. So that'll be the fun part. The next challenge for me will actually be when we do assemble the bike, will be sorting out the wiring loom, because it's a dog's breakfast and I've got my own ideas. So we'll proceed and persevere, and I'll catch you next time. Subscribe, and hopefully won't be too far down the track and we'll see this all nice and shiny. Have fun.